Hey, hope you're doing well today. Nice to meet you if I haven't already. My name's Stephanie. Had kind of a rough day today, so I wanted to take a few moments to just have a practice that's pretty thoughtful and thinking about what makes a really good yoga practice. I think first it's just meeting yourself or meeting your body where your energy is at, whether that's high or low, and also utilizing the energy that you feel inside and sort of working with it until you create a more comfortable state. So being that I have a little bit of frustration inside, I'd like to start with a practice that warms me up, works through some of that frustration, those emotions, that energy, and then starting to wind down towards the end. Doing all that while being attentive to the intention that I bring today to my practice, which is to let go a little bit. So just find a nice comfortable place, not super comfortable. You want to make sure the spine is nice and tall. So wherever you choose to sit, do be sure you kind of slide that skin up and away from the sit bones, allowing the shoulders to stack over the hips and the top of the head to just be lifted, the crown of the head to be pointed towards the ceiling. So you're creating a nice elongated spine and that the chin isn't pointed down or up too much so that the airway is nice and open. Just start to notice how the body feels, notice some of the thoughts that you're experiencing inside. And then draw your attention more to your breath, allowing on your inhale the belly to rise. Belly rises to expand, creating greater space for air. And on the exhale, belly contracts back to the spine, releasing the air slowly and smoothly. You'll inhale, expanding the belly, filling from the belly or bottoms of lungs all the way to upper chest. And exhale, slowly release the air. Keep the nice tall spine, hands relaxed wherever you like. And take 5 more breaths, just creating a nice even pace of breath. Allowing the inhales to find an equal length that matches the exhales. Noticing what the air feels like as it comes in and goes out. Noticing if you feel greater energy or maybe more calm. Noticing any tendency to rush. And then just slowly bringing the awareness back to the body, the sensations in the body. Maybe noticing what it feels like to have the bottom connected to the mat. And keeping the nice tall spine as you warm up a bit further. So just pointing the gaze directly ahead. On your inhale, lengthen through the top or crown of head. On your exhale, just turn your gaze over your right shoulder. On your inhale, lengthen back up tall to the center. And exhale, gaze over the left shoulder. And just do that a few times, inhaling to the center. And exhaling to the right. Releasing air completely. Inhale back to the center. And exhale left. One more time on your own. As you come back to the center on inhale, this time bring your hands out to each side, each of your sides. Just make sort of a spider fingers here, lifting up the wrists and just making a few kind of active, almost active sort of grabs or grounding your fingertips into the mat, activating the hands and arms, sitting up nice and tall, and then relaxing the hands to your sides. Go ahead and inhale, ground the root through the fingers, sit up nice and tall. Notice the points of contact with the mat, and exhale, release. Inhale, create that tension, ground through the fingertips, and exhale, release. On your next inhale, send both arms overhead, lifting up, looking up, and exhale, send palms down to heart center. Here you'll lift the shoulders up, bringing them up towards the ears, and then allow the shoulder blades to come around, down, and back behind. Pressing into both palms, you'll keep the collarbones nice and wide. acknowledge the effort to let go. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, release the air throughout the mouth. One more time, breathing in through nose. And exhale to let go. Perfect. From here, you'll uncross the legs. Find your way to a tabletop position for a few cat-cows. Allowing the knees to plant right under the hips and the wrists right under the shoulders. Again, you're sort of grounding through those fingertips, using the pressure of the fingertips in addition to the palm. Relaxing tops of feet to the ground or mat. As you inhale, the belly will dip down, the head and hips will lift, expanding the chest as you gaze up. And exhale to round the back, opening the space between shoulder blades. Inhale as you gaze up. And exhale as the back rounds. So doing that a few more times, try to allow the movement to follow the pace of the breath instead of the opposite way around. Just take one or two more. Again, try not to rush. Once you complete those cat-cows, give the toes a curl under and press up nice and slow to a downward facing dog. Really take your time here, there's no rush. So feel free to keep a really nice healthy bend to each knee. Just sort of bending one knee, straightening one leg, taking the time to do that on the opposite side. Again, there's no rush here, so just allow as much of a bend in the knees as you need as you just kind of warm up the backs of legs. Might want to take one really, really large bend, bending the knees and just kind of looking ahead. And then exhale, lift the tailbone and draw the hips away from the hands, straightening the legs. Inhale, you'll bend the knees and look ahead. And exhale, bring the tailbone to the sky. And again, noticing the points of contact to the ground or the mat. Through the palms, throughout the fingertips, feet, maybe not the heels. On your next exhale, bend the knees and just slowly look ahead as you walk towards the top of your mat or space. Here, you're just going to relax in a forward fold at the top of the mat. So you can relax, release the hands, arms. You can grab opposite elbows. You can hang nice and long or take a few sways side to side. The little bend to the knees will help to protect the low back. And from here, you're just going to slowly roll up to standing, taking your time, not rushing, just noticing as the body makes its way up. You can always keep your chin tucked till you do come up and then lift it once you're standing, just to help sort of avoid a little extra dizziness if you get lightheaded. From here, you'll plant firmly through the feet, again noticing the connection between the body and the mat. Allow the arms to hang nice and long. Maybe once more lifting the shoulders up to the ears on inhale. And then exhale, release the shoulders around, down and back. From here, you can keep the feet apart if you like for good or for better balance. And just bring a nice healthy bend to the knees for chair pose called Utkatasana. You want to make sure as you do bend the knees that you're not sticking the butt out, that the tailbone is sort of pointed down here. And as you see fit, just raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Should feel the nice warmth generating in the legs. Just keep the gaze ahead or down. Also want to try to kind of sit and lean back, sending some more weight into the heel. Of course, while maintaining the balance. One more breath. And on your exhale, you're going to straighten the legs and fold forward, relaxing again the upper body. You can give the knees a little bend if you like. Bring the hands to the shins, press up halfway on the inhale, flattening the back to look ahead. Exhale as you fold. Again, inhale, rise up to standing, taking your time. There's no rush. Send the arms all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, send palms to heart center. Again, bend the knees, bring the tailbone to point down. Arms up when you're ready. If you're comfortable here, feel free to shift the weight into one foot and lift the opposite leg. Again, that's if you're nice and balanced. Be sure you're drawing the belly in and up, and the core firm. If you are lifting one leg, you'll switch sides and alternate. And on your next exhale, you'll straighten the legs and fold forward. Again, you'll press into the shins, inhale halfway and look ahead. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to a plank position. And before you travel anywhere, just press through the heels, pressing the heels away from the head. Here you want to make sure that the shoulders are coming forward or right over the wrists. Really slowly lower down as slow as you possibly can, keeping the elbows nice and close to the body. You don't want them to splay out to the sides. As you slowly lower down to the belly, you'll untuck the toes. On the inhale, you'll hug the elbows in again, roll the shoulders up and back as you come up, low cobra. And exhale down back to the mat. Pull the elbows in, roll the shoulders up and back as you lift, lengthen head to toe, and exhale back down. Inhale once more as you lift, and exhale, slowly press back to a downward facing dog, curling the toes under, lifting the tailbone, and pressing the hips away from the hands. So here you do want to make sure that the spine is really nice and long. That bend to the knees can happen or legs can be straight. However, your arms match the length of your spine. Take one or two more breaths. On the exhale, bend the knees, look ahead, step or walk towards the top of your mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, find a rise to standing. Lift the arms and gaze once you're standing. And exhale, send palms to heart center. So inhale, lift and look up. Exhale, bend to fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. One foot at a time, and then the opposite foot to the plank position. And exhale, travel high to low. So you can travel high to low and flip, or you can lower the knees and come down that way. Any chaturanga or high plank to low plank position that works for you. On your inhale, you'll lift up, flipping the tops of feet, expanding the chest as you gaze up. And exhale to downward facing dog. 2 or 3 long breaths. Again, hips travel away from the hands, and you'll draw the belly in and up towards the spine or tailbone. From here, you'll plant evenly through both palms and lift the right leg towards the ceiling or sky. And then just make a few circles with the right leg or hip. And then switch sides, a few circles with the left leg or hip. And then release both feet. On your exhale, bend the knees and look ahead. Step, walk, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale on the fold. Inhale as you come to standing. You can take a little bend to the knees here and make just sort of a nice tall chair. Bringing the arms up. And then exhale, straighten the legs, send palms to heart center. So we'll just take a step back and make your way into a tree pose. So go ahead and ground through the right foot, giving a nice little bend to the right knee. And then you'll bring the left foot to the right ankle or the right shin, or all the way above the knee. So any place above or below the kneecap. You will note that as you start to find your balance in any place, that the body starts to shift over to the right. So you really want to make sure you're trying to center the hips over the ankle and standing up as tall as you possibly can here. Once you feel centered, you can keep the hands at the hips or in prayer or out to the sides, or very slowly you can lift them towards the ceiling as well. Again, trying to keep the body centered, hips over the ankle, that leg out nice and wide to open the hips as well, and smooth breath. 2 or 3 more. Feeling the energy from head to toe, fingers to toes. As you exhale, releasing the hands, legs, just give that right leg or both legs a little wiggle. And give a switch to the side, so a little bend to the left knee, and you'll send that right foot to left ankle, again, or shin, or all the way up to the thigh. Whichever place you choose, again, you want to make sure that the hips centered over the ankle, the knees nice and wide, and take your time to find your center. There's no rush, and the slower you move, the more balanced you'll stay. Also want to make sure that your standing leg, or left leg in this case, keeps a tiny little bend, so you're not locking at the knee. Notice the warmth in body, the places you feel the most space or length, and the areas that feel the most tight. Breath is nice and smooth. Inhales equaling the length of the exhales. 2 more breaths. On the exhale, slowly release the hands, legs, give them a nice little wiggle or shake. And find your way back to the top of the mat. Root through the heels and feet. Send the hands up on inhale. Exhale as you bend to fold forward. Inhale halfway to a flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back to plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, travel high to low. Again, you can do that however is best. You can lower all the way down to belly. You can use your knees or halfway. Inhale as you come up, upward dog or cobra. And exhale as you come back to downward facing dog. This time you'll shift the weight to the left foot, send the right leg skyward on inhale, swing the right foot through to the top of mat, drop the left heel, and you'll come up into warrior one. So the back toes are facing the top left corner of the mat, the right knee's over the ankle, and be sure that the hips are facing forward as best you can. Should be kind of slightly uncomfortable if you have tight hips. Hands can stay in heart center, or you can lift them to the ceiling. Again, noticing the connection between the body and the ground. You really want to kind of round the outer edges of both feet into the ground. One more thing that you're trying to do is you're trying to roll the right thigh or right quads out and open towards the edge of your mat or open to the ceiling, but you're also at the same time trying to keep the knee over the ankle. So you're turning the upper part of the thigh outwards and the shin bone inwards. Go ahead and release that left arm to the left thigh and just give a nice stretch up with the right arm, reversing the warrior. And then exhale, release both hands towards the top of the mat. Find your way back to your plank. Travel high to low, however you see fit. You'll inhale as you come up to upward dog or cobra. And exhale back to downward dog. Root through the right foot, lift the left leg on inhale. Swing it through to the top of mat. Feel free if you stop halfway to assist yourself. Allow the right heel to fall. You'll pull the belly in and up as you come up. Again, you're rooting through the outer edges of both feet, turning the hips to face forward. Taking a moment to find your center. I'm trying to work again outwards with the left thigh or quad working out and the left shin working in. On the exhale, you'll release that right hand to right thigh. Just give the left side a nice stretch. And exhale, release both hands towards the top of mat or space. And just kick both feet up towards the top of mat. The Keep a nice bend of the knees, and you'll slowly rise up here, keeping the knees bent to a chair pose. Keeping the tailbone pointed down as the arms lift. And you'll keep a bend in the knees here. You'll lower the palms to heart center, and then shift your weight into the right foot. You're going to keep the palms to heart center as the right knee stays bent, and you'll lift the left leg to a warrior three position. So you can feel free to lift it just a little bit, or kind of all the way so that you're nice and parallel to the ground. Hands can stay into heart center, or you can extend them to your sides or in front of you. You're making sure the left toes are pointed, and you're really flexing the left foot, pressing the left heel away from the head. So if you're very actively pressing away, it shouldn't be an easy pose. Smooth breath. Keep the right knee to bend. Slowly just set that left leg down towards the back of the mat, pressing through back left heel. And inhale both arms up to a high lunge. From here, you're just going to flip that left foot so it's nice and parallel to the short side of your mat, dropping the heel, and open the arms to a T into warrior two. Right knees over the ankle. Again, you're lengthening front to back, fingertips to fingertips. And as you come up, don't inhale, straighten the front leg. And just extend that right arm out and lower it towards the shin below the knee as left arm comes skyward into triangle pose. Try to make sure the chest is open to the ceiling. Head extends away from the hips. Go ahead and give that right knee a bend, send the arms back up on the inhale. And then release both hands to the top of the mat, and you'll rotate that back foot so you're facing forwards in a sort of runner's lunge here. Hips face forwards, back left heel is lifted, and you're pressing through it. Keep the left hand planted as you inhale, right arm skyward. And then we're going to work into a side plank here. So you have two options. The first is to lower that right hand to the ground, and then step that right foot back if you like, rotating, flipping the body over to the side, or you can bring one knee to the ground for more support, or if you want to bring it back to that runner's lunge, you can try in one swoop to make your way to side plank. So here, left hand stays rooted on our left shoulder, and you're going to try and keep your balance as you flip open to the side. Again, any side plank that works. Belly's pulled in and up, and hips stay lifted. And finally, exhale back to a plank position. Wherever your body was, back to that plank. Exhale as you travel high to low. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Notice the energy that's been created in body. The warmth. Again, that connection of your body to the ground or mat. And on your exhale, give the knees a bend, look ahead, step, hop, or walk to the top of mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, find a little bend in the knees as you slowly come back up to that chair position, lifting arms. And then exhale, send palms to heart center. You want to keep the pressing into both palms so that the chest or collarbone stay nice and wide. Shift the weight to the left foot, and then you'll lower the upper body and raise the right leg nice and slow. Again, it can be a little or a lot. Wherever you choose, you'll keep that right foot flexed, the heel pressed away from the head. And try to make sure that the upper body or back isn't rounding forwards. You'll press into the palms to keep the chest open. Really slowly, you're just going to bend the left knee, lower the right foot down to the end of mat, pressing through the back right heel. And send both arms up to that high lunge. And then you'll rotate that right foot so it's flat, dropping the heel, bringing the back foot parallel to the short side of your mat, arms to a T, lengthening fingertip to fingertip. On your inhale, you'll straighten the front leg. Exhale, extend the upper body away as you lower left hand to left shin, right arm skyward. And then give that left knee a bend again up to warrior two. And then inhale. And then exhale, send both hands to the top. And again, you'll flip that back foot so the heel's lifted and you're in a sort of runner's lunge position. Keep the right wrist under shoulder and inhale, left arm skyward. Make sure to keep pressing through the back heel. And then again, you can choose however you'd like to work into any side plank, keeping the right wrist under the shoulder, allowing both feet to the end or one knee to the ground for more support. Keep the belly pulled in and hips lifted. Trust me, it's harder when you're talking. On the exhale, release back to the plank. Shoulders over the wrists, press the heels away from the head. And then exhale, soften down to both knees, untuck the toes. Maybe widen the knees apart a little bit and just bring the body back to child's pose. Bottom coming towards the heels. Allowing the upper body to relax as much as you like. Notice as the energy kind of winds down a little bit, the body has worked through some of that energy that you might have began with, or at least that I began with. And now it's sort of balancing out a bit, if you will. Take 2 more long breaths. As you inhale, you'll come back up to a tabletop position. And from here, you'll keep the hips directly over the knees. Excuse me. Keeping the hips over the knees, so just start to walk the hands forward. You can lower down to the forearms first, or you might extend the arms all the way out in front of you. If you can come to the elbows or forearms, that's fine. You want to make sure as you do come down that the hips still aren't over the knees. If it's comfortable, you can allow the head to relax. So you're feeling a nice deep opening in the chest as well as a bend in the back. And try to really allow the body to just take advantage of the position that it's in, the stretches, the openness, yet at the same time it's also sort of safe as the front of the body is covered or locked. Very slowly as you lift back up, just start to walk the hands back up towards the tabletop position. And then you're going to allow the knees to just walk back a bit and allow the belly to come all the way to the ground here. You can just relax your cheek or head or face to the mat. You can relax the hands to your sides or make a pillow with the hands for your head. If the legs or toes will wiggle, relax them. And then just as before when we were seated, just take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Fill as much as you can. And on exhale, release the air throughout the mouth. One more deep breath in. And release the air. Perfect. Perfect. We'll allow the hands to come beside the body then, just keeping the gaze or neck nice and long. Head is just lifted. Make sure to keep the head or gaze facing ahead, just not to strain the neck. You're going to bring the fingers, if you can, to an interlace, all 10 fingers behind the body. And you're going to roll the shoulders up and back here. If that's uncomfortable for any reason, you'll keep the arms parallel to the ground, palms face down. In either one of those places, you're going to activate the core, drawing the belly in and up to the spine, press into the pelvic bone, hips, as you lift upper body and legs if that's comfortable. Again, your arms can be parallel. Wherever you are, just keep your neck kind of long, neutral. You're just gazing at the top of your mat or ahead. You're lengthening head to toe. You're drawing the legs in towards each other, activating the inner thighs. See if you can't lift just a little more. One more breath. On your exhale, release the air throughout mouth as you come back to the ground or belly. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice the energy settle again. And also you'll keep note of how with your own body you can sort of control the level of energy or mood. You're actively creating energy as you come up into that locust position. And as you relax, you're again slowing down the breath, the blood pressure, the heart rate. So again, you'll note maybe the body's a little bit more relaxed, maybe you're still feeling the residual energy. We'll create some greater energy with one more, and then again, slowly take it down. So again, bringing the belly in and up, keeping the arms parallel or interlacing all 10 fingers, shoulders roll up and back, press in through the pubic bone, lengthen head to toe, lifting upper body and legs. It can be however high you like. If you feel any compression in the low back, you might lower the feet a little bit. Goal really is to lengthen head to toe here. Pull the inner thighs in together. Take one more deep breath, maybe lift a little higher. And exhale, release the air throughout the mouth. And you might just flip your head over to the opposite side. Relaxing the body for a few moments, and again, just noting the level of energy starting to slowly settle a little bit. As you take a few more breaths, relaxing here, you'll notice the heart rate start to slow down. Maybe you start making your breaths a little bit longer. Adding some length to the inhale and to the exhale. And then slowly come back to the belly, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and just press up here to bring your body towards a seated position. Just bring the legs into a cross-legged seat. Maybe how you started, maybe differently. Making sure the skin is slid up and away from the sit bones. And then bringing both hands out to the sides again, this time just rooting the right palm into the ground, bending the right arm. Inhale to lift the left arm overhead. You can gaze up to the ceiling or sky or ahead for a neutral neck. Really trying to root down through the hips and sit bones as you find length at the same time in the side of the body. You might pay attention here to the subtlety of the air filling the ribs or expanding the rib cage. As you come back up on inhale, just lengthen, and exhale, relax. Release the left arm or plant the left palm into the ground, bend the left elbow, and send the right arm skyward. Again, you can gaze up or just ahead for a neutral neck. And take a few moments to move slowly. So just taking each inhale to lengthen and each exhale to maybe find a bit more of a reach. Again, noticing that subtlety as you inhale and expansion of the rib cage. Come back up on the inhale, lengthen through the top or crown of head. And exhale, just relax the shoulders, face, and jaw. Make just a few circles here to kind of loosen the hips. So moving however you feel comfortable, really. Just making a few circles with the upper body, one direction, then the other. Kind of taking your time. You can, I'd suggest move pretty slowly, but you don't have to. You can make a whole full circle, as small or big as you like. A couple in one direction and then a couple in the opposite direction. And this might also draw attention to any areas of tension or tightness. Feel free to switch sides and rotate the opposite direction. Also maybe noticing the difference between both sides of the body. Usually one is a bit more tight than the other. Perfect. So as you come back up to the center, kind of allow the legs to just come out nice and long for a forward fold. Before that fold, keep the sit bones rooted to the ground. The hands are going to be planted to the ground, the fingertips facing the toes, and the hands under the shoulders. If you can, then just activate the inner thighs, lifting the kneecaps to activate the quads, and lift the heels off the ground here. And then release the heels to the ground. Send the arms up to the ceiling on inhale. And exhale, really extend the length, the torso away, or your upper body away from the lower body. Relaxing wherever you land and feel comfortable. So you want to keep the feet flexed, just to keep the legs nice and long in an active stretch. If you like, you can find a connection of the hands to the shins or the feet or just the ground. It's okay to let the back round a little and relax the upper body, head or neck. So same as in the side stretch before, the seated side stretch. You want to lengthen on the inhale and then exhale to kind of relax the upper body, allowing the upper body to sort of melt towards the lower body. Should still feel a nice deep stretch underneath the legs or in hamstrings. Forward folds are really kind of a nice way to continue to slow the body down. Nice practice or a nice position for calming the body. On your inhale, you'll walk up nice and slow. And just bring the hands again underneath the shoulders, just as before. But this time the hands are going to be brought back a little bit, so that when you press up, that you'll find a nice opening in the chest and lengthen the front of body. So you can press into the feet as you lift up, keeping the legs sort of extended, or you can bend the knees, keeping the knees over the ankle. Either way that you lift up into that reversed tabletop, just take a moment to allow a nice stretch in the shoulders, keep the fingertips facing forwards, gaze to the ceiling. And then very slowly you'll lower the bottom down to the ground and just come all the way down into the back. Slowly pulling the knees into the chest, wrapping the hands around the shins, taking a few rocks side to side to massage the low back, body. And then just release the left foot to the ground. You're going to bend the right knee and bring, using both hands, the right foot towards your body. So in that sort of pigeon pose here. You're going to keep that right shin kind of parallel to the ground if you can. And if you'd like, you can use the hands for support to hold that right knee or leg in place, or you can use the left knee to prop that leg or hold that leg up as well. If you do use your leg instead of the hands to support, you might relax the hands to the ground. Some of you might also, if you want to notice the subtlety, if your leg is supporting the hands, the right knee might be coming towards the body a little bit. You might use the right hand to press the right knee away from you with care. Just take a few more breaths wherever's comfortable. You should feel a stretch, kind of looking for an edge where you feel a nice deep stretch, but it's not too much. Allowing the belly to rise on the inhale and contract on the exhale. And go ahead very slowly, if your leg is supporting, just lower the leg, release that knee, and maybe make a couple of circles with the leg just to kind of move it, or you can rock the leg side to side like a baby. And go ahead and switch sides when you're ready. Bringing that left shin or knee across the body so the shin is parallel to the ground, using the hands to pull the leg or foot towards you, or using the opposite knee to support. Again, if you notice that you lost some of the same stretch you had if you use your leg or knee to support, you can use the left hand to press against the left knee or pressing the knee away from the body while simultaneously pulling the right knee towards you, if that all makes sense. Just find a nice stretch in any place that brings you to that sort of edge. A deep stretch, but not too much, and focus on the full breath. The amount of fresh oxygen air you can bring into the body, circulate it throughout the body. And just slowly releasing the old or stale air. As you do very slowly release, just allow the leg to slowly come down and make a few circles again if you like. Loosen up the hip joint. And then relax both feet towards the end of the mat, allowing the ankles to just roll open. Allowing the arms to relax to the sides. If you feel nice and comfortable and pretty good where you are, you might just keep the hands facing up for a more receptive feeling. Or if you'd like to feel more grounded or centered, you can plant the palms to face down or bring the palms to your chest, or one to the belly and one to the chest. If you do feel any sort of compression or discomfort in the low back, which I sometimes do, you can bring your knees up to the ceiling and just sort of separate your feet, allowing the knees to come together or fall inwards. Whichever place you choose to rest or relax, try to let go that excess energy, thoughts, negativity, emotions throughout your air. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go on the exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And allow the body to relax in peace for a few moments. Just trying to allow the air to enter and exit at its own pace. As you slowly bring a little bit more awareness back to the body, notice how it feels now. Notice the temperature of the body, the pace of the breath. Any difference possibly from when you began your practice to where you're at now. Acknowledging the attention, time, and effort you've put into the practice. And just very slowly keeping the eyes closed if you like, finding your way up to a seat. Try to keep a nice tall spine in the seat that you do choose, keeping those shoulders once again to stack over the hips. Allowing the hands to relax at the sides. Allowing the face to relax. Bringing the palms to heart center. Again, just acknowledging the time, effort, and greater space that you've created in your body today. Allowing the head to bow to the hands. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing. Thank you for taking the time. And remember that even if it's 1 minute or 45 minutes, that there's always a place for you to acknowledge what's going on and to exhale and let some of it go, even if it's just temporary. Take care.